Hi, welcome to Inspire DIY. My name is Max, and today I'm going to be showing you on how I've been growing all my vegetables soilless indoor using the new hydroponic system. So I'm going to give you a bit of tour on the setup that I have, as well as giving you the full breakdown of how much it costs and every other components that relates to the hydroponic system itself. Well, without further ado, come on in. So here I set up this like really light filter door just to diffuse out the grow light, because here I have, it's my living room, and then if I have the grow light coming out, it's way too bright, so which is why I have this built and set up. All right, it's gonna be a bit noisy in here because I have all these fans running, and right here is where you should place the tower fan as well, but I just took it out so that I can step in and show you guys. So the first setup that I have is called the Dutch bucket or battle bucket or whatever. And I fill this up with the Hydroton, all these clay pebbles here that you see. And then with this particular system, it's a complete loop where basically I have the reservoir down here. And then all these, it's like a drip irrigation line that runs up, and then it basically drips into each of the net cup. And then there's a drainage system right within the bucket that flows right down into the reservoir again, and it keeps circling this way. And I also have here, this is the NFT channel, the nutrient film channel. And so here, same thing, reservoir down here with the water line running up to the top. And then basically it flows throughout the layers and then going down the PVC pipe and drain out at the bottom. So in combined, both of this system costed me around, like, I believe it's like 415 Canadian dollars. And the reason why it's so expensive was because I purchased it from Alibaba, and then it has to be shipped overseas, which the shipping cost was fairly expensive. And here I'm using this, for this one, I'm using the full spectrum grow light that I got on Amazon. It was on a deal page that I have, so they gave me a lot of discount code. So typically this would run around, I believe it's like $100 something, but I got it for only like $60, which is an amazing deal. And this one is a fanless version of it. There's also other different variations of very similar grow light. Those cost, typically for good ones, you'll be looking at around $100. For the NFT channel, on the other hand, I'm using the same shop light. I don't know if you've been following my channels for a while, but I used to have all these container pots soil growing indoor, and I switched over to hydroponic. So basically this didn't really cost me anything because I just used the same system. And if you were to buy it on Amazon, it's called like T5 LED, like just like a normal shop light. And these run about, like, I believe it's around 10 Canadian dollars. So everything I'm going to reference is all in Canadian dollars. And it costs around $10 per bulb. So I bought about 14 of them. I'm only using 12 at the moment. And here I just did this DIY for my old setup as well, where I'm using the computer fans to basically create an oscillating, air circulation. So that's just something that saved me a lot of money, because if you were to buy a fan for every single layer of this setup, it would be pretty expensive. But I'm thinking of getting another oscillating fan setup, maybe wall mounted somewhere here or something, just to add more airflow into this room. Especially right now, because it's during summertime, it's fairly humid in here. And the last one I uploaded earlier as a teaser long ago is where I got this booster fan that cost only like around $30, and then run it like venting out of this grow room all the way down here, and then it exit out right underneath my living room. So that's just to exhaust all the hot air out. So typically I like to build everything myself, because I like to do all these DIY projects, but I decided not to for this particular project, and that's because the material in Canada is apparently really expensive. So if you were to buy these NFT channels for 3 to 4 inch PVC, it runs for like 8 feet. It runs around $25 each. So that's a pretty ridiculous amount. If you're in the US, in Home Depot, it's a little bit more affordable, but which is why I decided to just get the system that's already like pretty much ready to go. The clay pebbles, I bought a big 50-pound bag, and I used it all up mostly in the Dutch bucket system. That cost me around $50 or so. So one thing I'm still kind of curious of, I don't know if this is gonna work well, is because so I'm using these rock wools in growing inside this like net cup system, and the net cup is very small. Like compared to I think the standard hydroponic that you see here is probably around 2 inch. This is probably like inch and a half or even smaller. So that's a bit of concern because if I were to grow bigger vegetables, I don't think the root system can support it, or it might not be big enough for the roots to run inside. But we'll see how it goes. Like it's my first time trying hydroponic system, so it's all an experiment at this point. So as for the nutrients, you typically I really like to grow everything organic. Like if you've been with my channel for a while, like I always pick like organic fertilizer, organic soil, and everything organic. But I actually went with this master blend, which is synthetic version of it. And they're well known for people who are growing like mostly like lettuce and tomatoes. They have different formula for those, but it's a 3-part dry powder solution version. So you basically just mix in according to the different steps and stuff, and it works pretty well so far. Like it's been growing quite nicely. And the reason why I didn't go with the organic route, well, for one, a lot of hydroponic system, I've noticed that a lot of nutrients are actually for like cannabis growers or like marijuana or tobacco. So it's kind of hard to find like organics. And the ones that are organic, they don't dissolve too well in the hydroponic system, from what I heard, and it can be quite smelly. So there's one that a lot of people recommend, which is like a fish fertilizer, but it smells pretty bad. So I just went to the store and I'm like, this is not going to work for me. So I forgot to mention that the Master Blend solution cost me around like $90 or so. You're also going to be needing a few more accessories, such as all these like EC TDS like indicators to basically measure the amount of particles that are within the water, so that you know how much nutrients are inside, as well as like pH meter to read, and obviously just to know how acidic your water is and everything. And you might need to buy a couple more like little things here and there. But overall, for my case, with my particular setup, it costed me around $800 with everything that you see here today. And is it expensive? Definitely. But what you have to factor in is the amount of cost that in case, you grow all these vegetables, eating them by, and how long it's gonna last. So like for instance, like the Master Blend solution that you saw, those one would last me for like ages, like because I only use like 16 gram per every 2 weeks that I have to change the water and everything. So that's barely any compared to the amount that I bought it for. And the other thing that you have to factor is the fact that all these hydroponic systems have a very low maintenance. So compared to the soil base, where you kind of have to check and consistently see how much fertilizer you need to add in, and so that's a huge plus for me because I don't really need to take care of it. All I need to do is for the reservoir is just topping up the water every few days and then change the water every 2 weeks or so. But that's about it. Like, I just want to show you this system, like a little bit of my hydroponic tour, and hopefully that inspires you to try to create your own system as well. And thank you very much for watching.